Great. Now I gotta use the restroom. Too bad. Okay, it's fully charged. Yes. Recording. Of course, we're recording. Okay. All right. All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, who is also ignorantly calls God and Jesus Christ, whose two names are on the Paleo Hebrew script, aka the Lashon Kodash. Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai, Ba'asham, Ha-Rachak Kodash. All right, the honors be to the apostles and elders at a great millstone who rule well and have taught us 100% truth. All right, much peace and blessings be unto you, right? What's it called? Well, I'm at the first Timothy, the fifth chapter, if I'm mistaken. It made the mention how let the elders be accounted double honors, especially those, pushing, what's it called, laboring in this truth. And that starts out with the elder Apostle Tahar and the great men on down from GMS, right? Great millstone. Also, much peace and blessings be unto you, hopefully, let the pushing out this word with all truth and sincerity. Well, you welcome, I do say, Shalom. Right, sincerity is a key factor because what's it called? I made this mention in my walking talk, or not my walking talk, my little quick hit. What's it called? Sincerity. When you're sincere, you do something no matter what, right? Even coming out the camp, even though you don't feel like it, or what's it called, so on and so forth. You got to keep on pushing, right? Sincerity is a show of loyalty. And to whom? All right, Yahweh Bashman was shot. And we were given the names, we were blessed with this truth, etc., etc. We increased in knowledge, which, as the elders have said, you know, knowledge is a form of spiritual power, right? It's a form of spiritual power. And that's saying in the world, the world has that one saying, knowledge is power. Well, that couldn't be any truer, right? This knowledge that we have, wisdom, knowledge, understanding, it's of, what's it called, the heaven. It's from Yahweh Ba'ashim Shai. That's in the book of Second, First Samuel as well, also in Proverbs. I believe it was the third chapter. I'm going to pull it out, right? Then I'm gonna get back to the main precept I want to get out, which is in the book of Revelation, 18th chapter, verse 21. But I presume this is Proverbs, the third chapter, and it goes into that that knowledge part. Right? Hey, shut up with me. All right, so Proverbs, the third chapter, verse, what's it called? 4. Actually, I'm sorry, verse 1. My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. For length of days and long life and peace shall they add. And that's exactly the case because, as what's it called, the other apostle Ryan Law made the mention, keeping the biblical law, which is not done away with yet. You got, what's it called, buffoons out there talking about how they're breaking down Mark the 7th chapter the wrong way, saying that they could eat anything they can. But then again, that goes to contradict what Yahweh Shai actually made the mention in Matthew the 5th chapter, verse 17, once how the law is not done away with. All right, what's it called? So you got niggas out here, what's it called, breaking the scriptures the wrong way. You know, I was shine Mark the 7th chapter West ain't going in so you could eat anything you want, which is pork. No, you can't eat pork, you can't eat shrimp. All right, what's it called? That was going to one of the Pharisees were calling them out for not washing their hands, which is a tradition, you know, which is a good practice to have, right? You know, it keeps hygiene, keep the bacteria and the germs away. Because you could actually contract an illness, what's it called? An example was a couple years ago, I had the gym, and, you touch a dumbbell, I was always going to have like a bunch of dead skin cells. But, I was in, what's it called, actually paying attention, and I actually ate something, touching, what's it called, with my dirty hands. I didn't clean them, and I got sick. So obviously, hand cleaning is a good, good practice. But yeah, I was shy with the apostles that when, what's it called, they didn't wash their hands, but that's not going off, do not wash your hands, right? But I digress back. Right, the ways of righteousness being the biblical law, and we're supposed to keep it because that's the ways to please Yahweh Shal Shah. Right? What's it called? If you out here, what's it called, taking either the Bushido system or the Quran or whatever, well, there's a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the ender of his death, as is written in the book of Proverbs, I believe it's the 14th chapter. Right? There's a way which seemeth right. I go to all these philosophies. If you want to actually, be austere, right, actually have wisdom and understanding. It starts out with reading this book. But obviously, how about Shemel Shai? Actually, with the name of the Heavenly Father and the name of His only begotten Son, we'll have to give you that power, right? That spirit. We would actually identify what you're actually reading and you comprehend. You got people out here that can't comprehend stuff. That's why, what's it called? Going back to Isaiah the 6th chapter, made a mention. Let them wax their ears of fatness, from actually teaching this work, but let them not understand. This thing is supposed to be a mystery unto them. That's why you got people out here that always reading this book and they always get confused. They come up with all these different opinions and perspectives. They can't, and when they actually do try and break it down in a technical matter, they could be breaking that down the wrong way. People, what's it called? You have that one, what's it called? Thinking it was solder. I don't think it was that. I think it was actually. Yeah, I think it was solder. A couple of years ago, talking about what's it called? Ezekiel 38 going to Russia still having I was thinking it was. I think he was using Ezekiel 38 chapter. Correct me if I'm wrong. Now I don't want to bear false witness, but he was making the mention how Russia will still continue on, even when Yahweh Shai establishing the kingdom, which that's not scriptural. That is not scriptural. When Yahweh Shai comes back here, he's going to subdue all civilizations, right? All global superpowers. You look at that word superpower, not necessarily a superhuman with actual, spiritual power, but in a political sense, what's it called? The term superpower refers to a country with great economic might, right? Economic influence, military strength, right? Technological advancements. That's what you refer to a country as a superpower. And obviously, the top three being America, what's it called? China, Russia, third place. And people, what's it called? Disregard that, but that will show you the ignorance of the human mind. Nothing but brute beasts. They say what they want to say without actually having any foreknowledge of what the fuck they're saying. Correct me if I'm wrong. Slacky for my your speech, but I always make a mention. You know, it pisses us off. It pisses us off, man. Right? You know, Homo sapiens. They're being Homo sapiens. They can't be actual humans. It's not for them. But I digress back. Not mercy and truth or safety. But I'm thinking about that. So again, once God goes into the law, you have the Ten Commandments. You have the what's it called? The dietary law, like Leviticus, right? Numbers goes into the fringes, right? That's something we're supposed. And you're not supposed to fringe up your shirts, all right? Because these shirts are, looking into the history, in historical context, a shirt is nothing but an undergarment. If you're talking about this is actually an undergarment, you're supposed to actually fringe this up, not a shirt. And people what's it called? Rocking, shirt fringes, which is off. You're basically walking naked. And that's how what's it called? The civilization or modern civilization does. They walk naked, in undergarments, not knowing that they're erring. And if they do actually hear the city of the garden, they reject it. They're like, I can do whatever I want. But what's it called? That's the problem. You think you have the illusion of free will that you think you could do whatever you want, even though it's not harm you and put you what's it called in the wrong path, right? So like, excuse me. That's why what's it called? Actually, being a what's it called? Follower Yahweh Shai by keeping this law. So without find favor and good understanding the son of Yahweh and man, trusting the Lord with all. So like it. Yeah, right. Trusting the Lord with all fine understanding, not trusting into thine own understanding. So like it. Trusting the Lord with all fine heart and lead not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, man. You got the right path. And so like it does the right precept. Yeah, kind of. So like I read it wrong. This is the book of same chapter, but verse 19. The Lord by wisdom hath founded the earth, by understanding hath he established the heavens. By his knowledge the depths are broken up and the clouds drop down the view. Right, what's it called? And it all goes back to the Lord, right? What's it called? You look at everything, the physics, right? It all goes back to the Lord. He's a power. There's other priests that want that he's a power. Now I forget that priest is. But it is through him that becomes all things. Going back to Sirach, the first chapter, I'll pull it out. It was verse 1. All right. That all wisdom coming from the Lord and is looking forever. And obviously, when you look to that word wisdom, it goes into accumulated knowledge and experience. And you have to, it's called using critical thinking, just meditating on it. The Lord was, by himself all that time before time was even conceptualized, before time began with the start of Yahweh Shai's creation. He was just in an infinite state of self-being. Just meditating on how everything would work. All right, that goes to show you what's it called? How the Lord's always been. He has no beginning or end. You know, he created the concept of time, right? Well, anyways, I'm gonna digress back to the point I wanted to bring out the book of Revelation, the 18th chapter, right? Verse 21, right? Going back in the prophecy because, hey, we're coming out here to the highways and edges, right? Week in and week out, being incident season and out of season as written, right? A preaching repentance for the kingdom is at hand, all right? Which I don't have the chart with me right now, but the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, right? Those are the true biblical Israelites, right? Pursuant to the scriptures. We fit the curses of Romans the 28th chapter. We are the salt of the earth, right? And many other signs, because again, going back to Romans at the 8th chapter, the spirit bears within with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. Hell, what's it called? You look at you see some heathen looking person, and through the spirit you could automatically tell it could be a Drake. Now, obviously, we don't know for sure, but we have much faith that certain individuals could be Drake. I mean, look at Eminem. Hey, dude's had a career for several decades, and he's had a lot of hits. You know, you listen to what's it called, Green Day. Those are a bunch of Edomites. You know, people only like the music because it's popularized. You know, but it has no soul. It has no talent. You know, there's no talent in that. You know, when you look at Paramore, you know, I believe in much faith that Haley Williams could be an Israelite. You know, she could be Eve, right? You know, still into you, right? Well, ain't it fun, right? What's it called? There's a lot of individuals. Yeah, I can think. What's it called? That pointed out that DJ Khaled could be Jay. And you know, that was when I first came into this truth. I was like, are you sure? You know, but you get built up and you realize, yeah, that guy has to be Jay, man, right? You know. So what's it called? That's our spirit, man. Bears within with our spirit that we are the truth with the Most High. You know, and Yahweh Shai made that clear and they get it going into how you are the salt of the earth. You know, not in a little sense. You're not going to be, you know, cannibalism is off. You're not going to, what's it called, be offering your body up to be eaten. You know, that's ridiculous. It's salt in a metaphorical sense. Going to, what's it called, having flavor, that pizzazz, that talent, right? Well, anyways, this is the book of Revelation, 18th chapter, verse 21. All right, actually, it's like verse 20. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, right? For Yahweh avenge you, right? And even before actual destruction happens, we're rejoicing in ourselves, having that hope that this will actually come to pass. Because again, time after second, that's the 15th chapter. You know, I'm gonna pull it out. I always bring it. I could just I could read it verbatim, but it doesn't hurt to actually bring it out, right? People talk about empirical evidence, meaning having the physical evidence. So they don't realize that this thing requires faith. You know, they call it theological sense, and then they what's it called, condemn for it. But you're supposed to have faith in this thing, man. You know, but you want, you know, physical evidence. We got second, that's the 15th chapter. Not sure you can see it. We always bring out this book, you know, and that's part of why Esau, what's it called, hit it. You know, what's it called, talking about exposing his secrets. You know, it exposes what will happen in the latter days, man. And we are at those latter days. Ain't no waiting another 500 fucking years. You know, we are at the fucking end of this shit. You know, this ain't no time. What's it called? Lollygag and play games and shit. Right? What's it called? We're talking about, you know, death, destruction, war, pestilence, cannibalism to come back, man. Cannibalism was in the Bible, you know, in the scriptures. You're like, no, was it? Yeah, it was. You know, you had that one account, Second Kings, so we had the two women eat their baby, or one of the babies, and then, you know, you had that other Eve, you know, told the King Ahab, and King Ahab was freaking shook. But that was in that one siege. I believe it was the Neo-Assyrian Empire, they besieged the city. And typically what happens in the siege is that when you have an army surrounding the city, there's no incoming, there's no products being transported into the city. So they're stuck, they're left, you know, fending off their eating off their own supplies until it's finished. And what then? You know, what's it called? You start eating boots or whatever, start eating your clothes, you know, or eating other people. That was what happened. You know, but people make the Bible to be, what's it called, a freaking fairy tale. Talking about there is no cannibalism. You know, people that think like that is, you know, well, Yahweh Shema Shah has punishment coming, right? For those that be, what's it called, twisting up adding to the scriptures, man. You know. But I digress back. Second Ezra, the 15th chapter, verse 1. Behold, speak down the ears of my people the words of prophecy. And we're speaking prophecy, man, right? Because we're speaking about things before. Now you got Jake out here because everybody want to be a prophet, man. Everybody want to be a prophet, but not what's it called, face the negative connotations that come with it. That with the mic and what's it called, being famous. Making money off of people, making music, microphone, and they don't even prophesy, man. They don't even have the books. They don't even break down the simple scripture. You know, they just start seeing random nonsense and they prophesy. Well, prophesy. Well, what prophecy is that? I don't remember that in the scriptures. Hey, where's that in Ezekiel? What verse? You know. But when you actually speak the words of prophecy, it's going to be negative things that people don't want to hear, right? They don't want to hear about a third world war. They don't want to hear about what's it called, cannibalism. They don't want to hear about what's it called, women getting judged. They don't want to hear about any of these things. Well, that's the legacy of a prophet. What's it called? Speaking. What's it called? Against the city. Look at Jeremiah. Hey, he prophesied against the city, and they sought to kill him, right? But that's what always happened throughout history. The prophets, man. Going out the second, that's the first to verse 32. Right? I have sent to you my servants, the prophets, and you have taken and slain them and cut them into pieces. Now those same spirits that did that are still on the scene to this day. And best believe Yahweh Shai is marked, man. All right? They've all been marked. Hey, because it's going through harm not my prophets, neither touch not my anointed. And the other part of the Torah broke it down, the prophets are anointed, they've been sanctified. And that goes back to Jeremiah, the first chapter, before I was a call from the belly, I sanctified to be a prophet. Anointing means to be sanctified, to be made clean, holy, right? Set apart. And that's why it's imperative to actually know the fucking words. The other apostle Gabar and all the other, apostles and elders and the Akim down, we can't stress that enough. Learn the words. People out here just reading superficially, without actually knowing the context of what word means. Oh, God say the whole earth, all nations, all heathen nations. No, he didn't. Because then that contradicts, the other doctrines we found in the Old Testament, and even in the New Testament, the Lord does not change. You go to that word "grow" in John 3:16, and it goes to the word cosmos in the Greek. And when you look at the English word world, go translate to 3 different Greek words. I'm mistaken, oikumene and ion and cosmos. And cosmos means an order and arrangement of things. Right? You got the sports world, the world of architecture, a group. Just like you have that saying, the industry, the movie industry. Well, same thing. You have the world of film, the world of what's it called? Movies, the world of games. The world of Israel, and that's what it ties back in the time after Isaiah the 45th chapter verse 17. Right? But digressing back, speak down the ears of my people. Yeah, the people being what's it called, the Israelites, man. That is whom the Spirit directed into. And what's it called? Even this, because we also teach about the speckled birds. The confusion of faces. Jake that look at heathen, but again, the spirit goes back to the nation of Israel. Because that concept of a mixed race is bullshit. That people be going out the Catholic system. Oh, man, no, you're in a Zachariah. Or you could be a heathen because you look at the migrations. A lot of what's it called, the heathen, migrated over to Mexico, man. Those, if you actually think about it, some of those heathen people could have been Jake, and the Lord just put the spirit upon them to go back to the tribal, the tribe in Mexico, right? And we don't know because we don't have the records. And that's why, again, it requires faith, So which I will put in. So the words of my prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. And what's it called? We speak the words of prophecy. We speak His words. We're not speaking out of our fucking ass, man. We're not going to be talking about the names of the Lord Grand Methamar and what's it called, Adverimento. You got those J that fell out. They be going on to using Greek names. But the language that we speak by, the language the word goes by is the Hebrew, Hebrew, right? Or it's biblical Hebrew, old Hebrew, right? Ancient Hebrew. Paleo means ancient in the Greek, I'm mistaken, right? Or as we say, holy tongue, holy language. Tongue means language. Lash Wanko Dutch, right? Holy, pure tongue. So, in causing you written in paper, for they are faithful and true. And that's exactly the point. The scriptures are faithful and true. Actually, reading on, it says, "Fear not the imaginations against thee." Not being, and what's it called? Going back to Matthew the 20th chapter, verse 28. And I speak to myself this first and foremost. How wish I made the mention, I fear not man and kill the body, but fear him that can, put the body in hell and soul. That's Yahweh, the Heavenly Father. Hey, time back. He's in control of all things because, again, there's no such thing as free will. That's an illusion more so. Because I'm at probably the 21st chapter, and also other brain precept that goes into how Lord is in control of all the, what's it called, the ways of men, right? The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. That's Proverbs 21 and 1. I'm going to pull that out, right? So, Proverbs 21 and 1. Wow. Shuffle with me. I prefer to have the book. It may be tedious, but you get used to it. But yeah, Proverbs the 21st chapter, verse 1. The king's heart, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a king, but it was just called, it even goes to show you, extrapolate on the fact that the Lord controls the king because it ties back to Daniel the 4th chapter, verse 17, which makes the mention how the Most High ruleth in the kingdoms of men. You got these what's it called leaders out here, thinking like they're the high and mighty ones, they're God, and that goes back to Isaiah the 14th chapter. This verse 14 or so, looking at how Esau shall be like the Most High, right? But really, that's the seat, man. That's the seat. So, and you got Jake out there, which we don't care about the mockery. We don't care about the shame, the hate. We're at the end of the day, we're doing a job we're supposed to do. Jake can't understand that. Well, that's why we lay curses up, man. We lay curses up, and that's not a witch thing to do. People talking about, oh, you guys are witches for laying up curses. Well, frankly, there's righteous from a person, man, and that's for Yahweh Ba'ashem Shah, right? Praying in those names. Which curse means to wish divine harm upon somebody. We don't care. We lay out curses, daily. Look at Elisha the prophet. Yeah, those little 40 kids that call them bald. Oh, go up, thou bald head. Go up, thou bald head. And what did Elisha do? He prayed to the Lord, and the Lord sent 2 she bears, and they killed the 40 kids, man. So don't mess with the Lord. TLDR, as they say. But I digress back. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, right? As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. And when you look to that word heart, it goes out to the Hebrew word lab, meaning mind, the brain, right? That is where the spirit resides. You are a spirit. You're not the brain. You're the spirit that inhabits the brain, and henceforth is able to control the body. Because it's like the cockpit. You look at a car or a plane. There's a cockpit. That's the way that a plane maneuvers. You have to have somebody in the cockpit. Well, you're a spirit inhabiting the brain. That's a cockpit. You can perceive it. And it makes the mention now, as the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will, because the brain is mostly composed of water, fatty tissue, and mostly water. We're mostly composed of water. That's what it's going into. And when you control water, you're able to direct it to wherever you want it. That's where you get the hydro thing. That's how you're able to have electricity through way of water, right? Just like how you're able to manifest electricity through wind with the wind turbines. So same thing with water. You got certain dams that give us water in certain parts. That's where it ties in, right? But I digress back. This is the book of Daniel, the 4th chapter, verse 17. It's the in the precept. As it's written, let precept be upon precept, right? Right? Let precept be upon precept. That's in Daniel, the 4th chapter, verse 17. All right. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent the living may know. The living referring to the inhabitants of the earth. That everybody may know. Hey, because what's it called? Jake may not consider, but again, it's whether they hear or for better. We're out here in the highways and hedges, so we're just bringing out this message for the whole world. It goes over to the Israelites. Hey, climb out the Isaiah 34 chapter, let the whole world hear, right? And if they don't hear, we prophesy to the wind. We prophesy to the wind, again, whether they hear or for better. But that the living may know that the Most High, a title of the Heavenly Father, all right, that's not his name. You got people out here calling upon him by the Most High. Well, the Most High is not a name. It's a title. They refer to the highest spirit in existence, and that's the Heavenly Father. Yahweh. That was true. It ain't Yahuwah, it ain't Jehovah, it ain't Yahuwah, it ain't God, it ain't Lord. Those are all what's called. Frankly, Yahuwah is a false reconstruction, a false pronunciation, if you will. Yahweh is an attempted reconstruction at pronouncing the name, but that's also off. You know, and you got people out here talking about what's it called? Lord gave us names in our own languages to call upon, but that's bullshit because the scriptures don't go into that. As a matter of fact, they go contrary. Talking about the prologue, it makes mention how the words uttered in Hebrew and translated to another tongue have not the same force in them. Henceforth, to call upon Jehovah is not the right name. It has no and holds no power. It's vain. Your prayers are vain. We should call actually call upon the name of the Lord is by actually call upon by his Trinity, which is Yahweh, the Hebrew, right? But if you may know that the Most High Yahweh ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whoever he will, and setteth up over it the basis of men. And time after Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, also Sirach, the 10th chapter, the Most High may strip somebody of power and give it to somebody else. That's the way empires fell and came. All right, the Lord gave Esau power. That's how. That's why this mofo is in position right now. And what's it called? Rulership. Though he's a terrible king. You know, you look at the Great Depression and you look at what's it called? Hoover, right? Herbert Hoover. Hey, this guy wasn't for his. This guy wasn't for the people, because he lived on the philosophy of the government. No government intervention with the people's problems. But you know that's often I do, because time out the 10th chapter, it clearly states the contrary. We're supposed, if you're a leader set up in a position of power, you're supposed to care for your civilians, not your subordinates, right? And that's what makes this devil unfit for rulership. He's out here destroying them, man. So, Sirach, the 10th chapter, or Ecclesiastic, is as written. Verse 1, a wise judge will instruct his people. This mofo wasn't instructing shit, you know? And if he's like in temporary time, does instruct his people, it's for his gain. Because again, go at the order of Kale, you know, manipulating events to achieve a certain outcome. You may be saying to do this and that, but it's all for your destruction, or for your demise. And that's why you're not supposed to trust your enemy, as is written. Never trust an enemy. And I believe it was in the 12th chapter, correct me if I'm wrong. I'll pull it out. Shove it with me. Yeah. Sirach, 12th chapter, verse 10. Actually, I'm sorry, verse 8. A friend cannot be known in prosperity, and an enemy cannot be hidden in adversity. In the prosperity of a man, enemies will be grieved. But in his adversity, even a friend will depart. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. And this damn devil is a border of wickedness. I'm out the Malachi, the 1st chapter, verse 4 makes a mention, thou shalt call him the border of wickedness, and a people against whom the Most High hath indignation upon. Indignation means a righteous hatred, because the Lord could really hate. Yeah, people are here talking about God only loves, God this and that, they're only love, it's love, peace. No. You know, you saying that as an oversimplification and a serious understatement, because Yahweh Shema Shai has balance. He does both good and evil. Not only be good and peaceful, you know, that's BS. You know, what's it called? If people talking about what's it called? Satan be doing evil. Well, Satan works for the Lord, man. All right, that concept of fallen angels are dealing against the Most High. Well, you have to realize the angels are perfected. They're in the spiritual bodies. How they could they rebel against the Most High? That's fucking bullshit. You know? And people that break up the churches the wrong way, Yahweh Shema doesn't destroy you for that, man. Now you mar his image. Now you mar his reputation. Right? Because the Lord also hates, man. You know, if people think that what's it called, the prophets are scary, you know, saying what they say. Well, you know, you haven't met shit. You haven't seen shit. You know, first of all, you're still on this little cocoon thinking that everything's gonna be all fine and dandy until you actually see prophecy manifest. But then again, the things we speak are not of ourselves. Again, I'll put thy words in thy mouth, right? As it's written in the book of 2 Ezra, the 15th chapter. So if we speak these things, really, that's really of the Lord, and you should be scared of him, right? You know, he's really scary. You think we're scary, look at him, right? So never trust our enemy for like his arm with his wickedness. The way humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as thou hast wiped the looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. And you have various incidents, but that was the case. One event that comes to mind is Antipater the Idumean. This dude was a high-ranking official in the Maccabean in the Hasmonean dynasty, the Maccabees, right? And then when you look at the history, when you had Julius Caesar get besieged in Alexandria in Egypt, you had Antipater, pull up with, I forget Mithridates. I forget Mithridates of where, because before the concept of a last name, which was introduced by the Normans in the 1100s brought out the introduction of last names. Before that, you were called by whatever location or your trait. So you had what's it called, Jason the Hunter, and then when the Normans came about, Jason Hunter became a last name. Sabrina Carpenter, because look at the lineage, her family must have been carpenters. You know, Jason the carpenter. I don't freaking know. So with the introduction of the last names, they went off the locations, right? That's why Elijah, who was an Israelite, was known as a Tishbite. Because geographically speaking, he was from Tishbe, but he was still an Israelite. You remember, Tishbe means a location. Just like American is not a bloodline; it's a nationality, right? So you could be Elamite in America and identify as American. Same thing with the geographical title. Mithridates. I forget where though, but he was Mithridates of somewhere. And I think he was a general. And so he had Antipater that didn't even go up with them to save Julius Caesar back when he was besieged in Alexandria, and it was a success. And Julius Caesar made a friendship with Antipater, and he basically gave him patronage of Judea. So he was basically a prime minister, if you will. Antipater was a prime minister of the Roman, what's called back then was still a republic, so the Roman Republic, and that's what Judea, got introduced into Rome, right? And then that was when Antipater became surpassed the Hasmoneans, and then it was through him he was the forerunner to the Herodian dynasty, which is where you had Herod the Great, who became the king, right? And he got down and murdered all the what's called high priests and such as that of the Hasmonean dynasty, leaving none other. So a good example, said not by thee, lest when he have overthrown me, he snap thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he sick and take thy seat. And this damn devil was snarky, man. This damn devil was always what's it called, looking for an opportunity. You know, he's like, it's called precious or something. I don't know. What's it called? And thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. You want to remember the words beforehand. Time at the Proverbs made the mention now, the prudent foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. You don't want to what's it called? Have knowledge, not be wise. Slacking. You don't want to have this knowledge and be unwise. And then what's it called? Tribulation happens. You forget how to move accordingly. And because wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of our times. You forget to move accordingly. Now you're caught up in the snare. All right. So again, the time about the Sirach, the 12th chapter, they made the mention. Well, yeah, I lost it. Said not by thee, so on and so forth, and thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. Right? Who would pity a charmer that has been with the serpent, or such as come nigh with wild beasts? And you want to be circumspect. We need not taking risks. But anyways, time at Daniel the 4th chapter verse 17. All right. This match by the decree of the watchers and the man by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living, again the humans, the inhabitants of the earth, may know that the Most High, again a title, I thought the name of the Lord. All right. The word Lord, God, the Most High, all right, the Holy One of Israel, the Rock of Israel, the Strength of Israel, those are titles. There's a fine line between a name and a title. A title is a universal position anybody could have, right? There's many lords. Time at the Psalms 86 chapter, it makes a mention now, ye are gods. So when you say God, who are you referring to? An Israelite, angel, or the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai? Because the word God in the Hebrew translates to Allah, or Allahayim, meaning the powers, which is plural. So what's it called? God is often when you say on God, ultimately, you're not taking the name of the Lord in vain. You're not condemned for it because again, the title, God, Lord, the Most High, those are titles. It's a way to address somebody, so I can refer to them. But the way to actually address somebody is by their designated word, their name, Yahweh. Yah meaning he, Hawa meaning to exist. He exists. He to be. He is. And the Heavenly Father has always made that proclamation that He is the Lord power and the only one. Right? And what's it called? Not Allah, not what's it called? Buddha. You know, what you doing serving worshiping a man. You know, we're supposed to worship the powers, man. Yahweh, what Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai came in the flesh, but he's perfecting the spiritual body, man. Yahweh Shai, right? And Yahweh Shai is worthy of worship. That's really right. And the elect will soon to be too. And they'll be perfected and become gods as well. Or it was why in 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter, makes the mention they shall be changed in the quickly of the night. And then if you're about the passage saying that is death is overcome, victory, they're about to paraphrase, man. So these mofos disregard the scriptures and they bend it, twist it to their liking. And instead of hearing the whole matter, right? You're supposed to, what's it called? Look, here a little and there a little. What's it called? Natural, because of the puzzle. And they all connect. You know, they don't contradict each other. The only reason why contradiction may come upon it is because people break down the scriptures the wrong fucking way. You know? But I tie it back, the precept I had originally. So this time after Revelation, the 18th chapter, I keep digressing back. It's locked. So 21st, rejoice over her. Referring to who? Who is that her? America. Babylon the Great, as it's written. All right, because what's it called? A mystery Babylon the Great. America. Let's make America great again. You know, and Trump has that slogan, America first. We want to improving the country's infrastructure. But if you actually look at that slogan in the historical context, the slogan of America first came about in 1916. I don't forget. I think it was 1916 with Woodrow Wilson. Woodrow Wilson used it, coined the term America first to prevent America from getting into the First World War, which is prophecy. You know, the First War, because war means death and destruction. So we was literally talking about what's it called? What? Thank you. What's it called? Time back. Then it was brought back by the first committee during World War II, right, to keep America out of World War II. Hey, but those twisters, they still got in the fucking war. You know, you have FDR, what's it called? He was making speeches in Chicago, and people were like, no, we don't want to go in the war. We don't want to go in the war. But, you know, he had to because to help his European companions out. You know, and it wasn't until Germany used a submarine launched it, I forgot what island, and that's what introduced America to the Second World War, right? But you see how before they entered the World War, it was always about America first, as in a way to keep them out of going into the war. What are we talking about right now? World War III, coming freaking soon. You know, that's why Esau's pulling out these, you know, these drafts, right? You know, and that's prophecy. You know, mustering the host of the battle. Well, what's it called? What is Trump saying right now? America first to improve the country. So history essentially is repeating itself, man. History is repeating itself. That's in the book of Ecclesiastes, the first chapter, verse 18. I keep digressing. I can pull it out right now. Ecclesiastes, chapter 1, verse 8, verse 9. The thing that has been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. So history repeats itself. Just like Woodrow Wilson spoke about America first, keeping America out of the war. It came back in the first committee, trying to keep America out of World War II. Is going to come back again, or it actually came back again. You know, America talking about what's it called? America first. That's where you see all these tariffs being imposed, and that's where you see what's it called? Trump administration. They didn't separate from from NATO or the UN, but they separated from certain organizations. Like, that's where you have the Defund Act, right, with the United Nations. So they're trying to stem away from the freaking United Nations. And that's why I would say too, because again, time out to Obadiah makes a mention now that we're Confederate with the, you know, basically America's out of betrayer. America's out of betrayer. Thus saith prophecy. Thus saith Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shah. You can't change prophecy. You can't upset it. Oh, but I want to live a peaceful life in America. I already have plans. I'm starting my business. Yeah, well, it's all vain. It's all vain. You know, right? If anything, you have a better future. You have a better future in the kingdom. That's what's coming. When we use the phrase "the end of the world," we refer to an end of an age, end of Esau society, end of the heathen rulership. Because there comes a world where is righteousness, as written in the book of Second Peter, the third chapter, right? Which that word "new" doesn't mean an actual new fucking planet. You got people actually breaking that down. No, the earth abides forever, as written in the book of tell them in the same chapter, Ecclesiastes 1 and 4. One generation passeth away, another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever. And you look into the history, this earth took like 6,000 years to create, man. Right? So why then would you destroy this earth? You know, when you look to that word "new" in the Greek, it goes into the Greek word kainos, meaning refreshed, refurbished, because everything will be refreshed. That fire will cleanse away this wickedness, man. And it's time out the second Ezra 15th chapter. What does it say? For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and therefore their hurtful works are fulfilled. Second Ezra the 15th chapter, verse 5. All right. Behold, said the Lord Yahweh, I will bring plagues upon the world. Or, synonymous with the word plague is synonymous with the word trump or prophecy. So the sword, famine, death, and destruction. And you've been seeing that, man, but it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. You saw that back with the pandemic in 2020, how that was a state of chaos and everything dialed back down. Now we came back to a state of normal, quote unquote, normalcy. But, we know that the vision is yet for an appointed time. It will come back and become worse than it was before, right? Because again, it is for an appointed time, and it shall come to pass. It will not tarry. Wait for it, as is written. That's back at the third chapter, verse. I believe it's the second chapter, verse 3 or 4. Second chapter. But you've been seeing a sword refers to the modern day gun. All right, famine. I was gonna come back again. All your storehouses will be wiped away clean again. You can't have a post-apocalyptic world after the vision without having famine. You need famine. All right, that's a judgment that's coming upon the earth. I believe I did a third chapter. If I'm mistaken. You should check it right quick. But there's something like that I just thought about right now. Share with me. Sure. Yeah, Isaiah the third chapter, verse 1. For behold, the Lord Yahweh of hosts, and hosts because there is a military in heaven. Those are the angels, right? Which one angel could wipe out all these militaries in one instance? You can't do anything about it, man. All right. So the Lord of hosts, Yahweh, doth take away from Jerusalem and from Judah, which we know Jerusalem and Judah does not necessarily refer to the actual physical cities, but the people. Judah referring to the southern kingdom and Jerusalem referring to the northern kingdom. So let's take away from Israel, if you will, the stay and the staff, the whole stay of bread and the whole stay of water. So a famine will come back as it's written, right? But death and destruction, and what's that end all be all that thermonuclear fire? Because we're talking about fire engulfing the face of the earth, right? America would become a lake of fire. All right. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. And wickedness is everything contrary to the scriptures. When you're wicked, it's because you're living in a state of iniquity. You're constantly breaking the law, right? You're constantly doing the opposite of what the scriptures command. What's it called? It says, "Therefore saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit." And profane, what's it called? Profanity. All right. It doesn't mean a bad word, but it means do evil. Right, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and the righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. Right? And who are the blood of the righteous and the just? The elect. Because time out the Ezekiel, what's it called? The fourth chapter, or the ninth chapter, ninth chapter, verse 4, it goes into how they that sigh and cry for the abominations thereof. Abomination, is something disgusting to the Lord. And when discussing all these practices being done on the earth, right? You know, whether it be what's it called adultery, smoking weed, or things of that sort, that's all abomination to Yahweh Bashim Shai. Therefore, hey, they that sigh and cry. Again, behold, the innocent and the righteous blood crieth under me, and the souls of the just complain continually. We're constantly complaining to the Lord, man. Right? And therefore said the Lord, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. Right? The Lord's gonna avenge, man. Right? Going back. We're talking about Slack, I'm in the wrong book. Second Ezra, Slack, the 15th chapter. And so going back, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. So you see this America First slogan being pushed out in the world. Well, that's repetition of history because that goes to show you America is close to entering that World War III. And you look at articles like with the CEO of JP Morgan, they made a mention how we're already at World War III, but technically we're not because it hasn't been declared fully, but it will very soon. We're coming to some rough times with World War III actually come out. That's what ties back to the 24th chapter going rumors of war, man. Right? People disregard that, like, I bring the news. Oh, you're going off. Well, what's it called? The scriptures online. Because again, talking about the second Ezra, it made the mention out that they are faithful and true. Right? So, and the 24th chapter, man, of Matthew, John 21, I'm taking Luke 21, I forget. Those are all heavy chapters because they tie into prophecy. Right? So I'm gonna pull out the book of Matthew the 24th chapter, shepherd with me. All right, Salaki. I'm gonna pull out the browser right quick. Well, shepherd with me. All right, KJV. All right, verse 6. Matthew the 24th chapter, verse 6. I was right there. And it is in the red letter, so Yahweh Shai speaking. Whatever he says actually goes. And again, he made a mention now, the things that he speaks are not of him, but the Lord, the Heavenly Father. So the things we speak are not of ourselves, but him. Right? And that's why time I could look at 10th chapter, verse 16. If they despise you, they despise Yahweh Shai, they despise Yahweh Shai, we despise the Heavenly Father that sent him. Right? So you hate us, you hate the Lord, man. And you hate what's written, and you hate the Lord. And that's a terrible fucking fate. All right? That's a terrible thing. You know, because again, Hebrews the 10th chapter, verse 31. Fearful, it is a thing that falls to the hand of the living power. We look at that word here in the Greek, I forget the pronunciation, but in the outline of biblical usage, it means the changing of destinies of man. So a Lord could, will whatever he wants against you, man. And that's where it goes into predestination. Because again, at the end of the day, although what's it called, we seek out our own salvation, it's already determined who's going to be the elect. You can't just claim I'm the elect and expect to be saved. Delivered. That's not how it works. You can't just be saved to be saved. And neither is a law about predestination. But if what's it called, the elect, they're going to have the spirit to try and do right. Not just what's it called, take advantage, be like, oh, and I'm gonna be elect. It's already been written. It's already been told. It's already been what's it called? It's told. Therefore, I'm gonna not hold camp or whatever. No, and that's why we're hopeful. Like we don't know. Our memories are right clean now, like clean slate. That's why we hope to be. We have faith that we could be like Lord was the case. But because at the end of the day, it's not confirmed to us. We have to keep on doing the work, right? And I tell myself that first and foremost, man. Right? Hey, because it takes serious faith to come out here, man. Right? Ain't no nigga in the world gonna dedicate 1 or 2 hours, or more than that, holding camp. Hell, what's it called? They just claim to be Christian, but they don't actually They don't actually do what's written, what's commanded them. Right? Oh, I'm a Christian, but I eat pork. So that's going on right there. No, if you're an actual Christian, an actual follower of Yahweh Shai, actual Hamashiakian, if you will, you will actually do what's commanded, because if you love the Lord, keep his commandments, as written in John, the 14th chapter or so, the 4th chapter. I ask you how is Shai speaking? If you let me keep my commandments, and because it was never done away with. Talking about the Matthew the 5th chapter, verse 17, right? But anyways, And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that be ye not troubled. And we're not troubled. If anything, we're fucking excited. You know, like in Doctor Stone. In Doctor Stone, the anime show, he's always been like, Doctor Stone's always like, I think that's his name, I forget his name, but the scientist guy. He's all like, get excited. Get excited. Hey, we are excited, man. We're excited for what for prophecy. And that ties back to Job the 5th chapter. We meet those qualifications, right? At famine and destruction, thou shalt last. People think we're freaking psychopaths or lunatics. We're the fucking now, you know. Hey, look at those crackheads in dresses in the street corners. You know, look at that. They're terrorists and whatnot. Well, the things we speak, we get scared of ourselves too, right? Because it's a terrible thing. We persuade men to the fear of the Lord, to the terror of the Lord. You know, we persuade ourselves, right? What's it called? You know, we have that Lord put the spirit upon his elect. That righteous indignation. You know, that zeal, right? That hatred for the world. We are not of the world, and therefore, when we see prophecy, we get excited. You know, we know it's gonna be terrible, but it must come to pass for the kingdom. If you want, people are always talk about. No, we want you to prophesy about peace. Well, the peace we're talking about is destruction, then peace. You know, peace with the Israelites, the kingdom. You know, and after 1,000 years of hardcore bondage, the heathen will go back to a normal state of living. You know, peace under us. But first, we have to get to the nitty gritty. All right, a whole lot of fucking asking. That's the book of Isaiah, the 3rd chapter, right? And the part of this nitty gritty process is the prophets coming out here to the highways and hedges prophesying against this place. When you prophesy against, you're prophesying destruction against the city, man, the country. Hey, yeah, the other part of the part we to mention how a country that's big as, or a country that's big as its people. So back in Revelation, the 17th chapter, if I'm mistaken, they made the word, or it's like 11th chapter, the great city. Well, a city really refers to the country in that sense. All right, because you got Americans from the West Coast all the way to the East Coast. But anyways, this is the book of Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, verse 1. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Right? So there's a period of time. You know, I'm not sure if you guys know, but there's just one video game. There's not video game, a mobile game. There's a mobile game that's a sandbox game on mobile, and it's like a creation game. So you play as God, and you're able to spawn inhabitants, so on and so forth. And one thing you could do is that you could create periods of time. So there's like an age of chaos, age of war, so on. Well, in the realistic sense, that's what's happening. You know, there's a time and purpose for everything. A time to be born and a time to die. And right now, it's a time to fucking die. You know? What's it called? A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. Plucking up what? It's twofold for actual gardening, but also the implantation and plucking up of kingdoms, of rulership. Right? That's in the book of what's it called? Second Esdras, or it's like Ecclesiastes or Sirach, the 10th chapter, verse 15. The Lord Yahweh hath plucked up the roots of the proud nations and planted the lowly. And actually, verse 14. The Lord had cast down the thrones of proud princes and set up the meek in their stead. The Lord had plucked up the roots of the proud nations and planted the lowly in their stead. The Lord overthrew countries of the heathen and destroyed them to the foundations of the earth. Right? Now, how about that? We're talking about destruction. So we're headed to some rough time, a time of evil, time of war, time of destruction, a time of what's it called, breakdown. So, a time to break down, a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, right? So on and so forth. Right, jumping down, verse 7, a time to rend. Right now, a time to rend, break down, rip apart. Right? A time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. We're talking about war right now, point blank period. You can't do it. You can't just be like, go war, don't even prophesy. It's gonna come to pass whether you fucking like it or not. Because again, come out to Isaiah the 55th chapter, verse 11, it reads mentioned, the thing that you have spoken is that which shall like I will bring it out. I'm gonna bring it out. You know. So Hey, verse 11. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return to me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. So whatever the Lord says will come to pass. You cannot upset prophecy. You have individuals that try and upset prophecy, and prophecy comes up either way, right? Going back to the Crusades back in the 11th century, an example that comes to mind, you had Jake, what's it called, Shepherd Bennett. I forget what they tried. It was after, I believe it was after the Ottoman Empire on the Sultan. I forget what Sultan it was, but they had taken over Constantinople. So that was basically the end of Jake's leadership. The first 1,000 years in Revelation, the 20th chapter. And you have that one Jake come from Western Europe, I forget what part, and lead a crusade, but he died in the process. Trying to retake the city of Constantinople. Because again, it was prophecy was up. It was time for Esau to come into play. So look at what's it called, Alexander the Great. He fulfilled prophecy after the quick, swift 13 years, and that's why he's likened to a leopard. But after the fast 13 years of taking over all of Asia, and that's where we have the empire of Alexander the Great. He died in Babylon shortly after coming from the Indus Valley region, because they were supposed to attack the Elamites, but these people feared, so they went back, retreated, and he died in Babylon of what's it called, mysterious disease. That was the Lord, what's it called, taking him out to not upset prophecy. He could have, hypothetically speaking, he could have done, worse than what the Lord intended, right? So it's always in control. The Lord's always in control of things. The Lord's always in control of things. So tying back to Revelation 18, chapter 21, the actual point I wanted to bring out, Salakia. I keep digressing. All right, the 18th chapter is 21. All right. So again, verse 20. Rejoice over her, again, Babylon, or America, thou heaven, and behold the apostles and prophets. Hey, because they're still on the sea today. People always talk about, oh no, that's Bible times. We're still in Bible times. People are like, oh, Revelation is in present times. Revelation is in present times. Yeah, well, Revelation is a book in the Bible, and we're in the present times. Obviously, we're still in biblical times. People, can't put it together because they're fucking, stupid. We're still in biblical times. That's what the elder Makama said. In an old lesson a long time ago. He made the mention now we're still in biblical times. And we still are. So with that being said, you still have prophets on the scene. Yeah, people are talking about Malachi was the last prophet. He ain't the last prophet. And you had prophets written up in Acts. All right, that was New Testament right there. You still have prophets on the scene to this day. Because the Lord never done them away. There's no precept going to the word the prophets will be done away with. No. You need prophets to be able to get this truth back. That's where it goes into Jeremiah. It goes into how the Lord has according to his heart. Feed the sheep the knowledge, man. So continuing on, and a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone, which I'm not a great millstone. We're followers of great millstone, right? But you see right there, that's a little shadow right there, if you will. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, "Thus with violence shall thy great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all." Right? So this country, though it may seem prosperous and people have endeavors, have plans in the future to do this and that and the third, and Esau aspires to be like the Most High. That's where you see all this nanotechnology and things of that sort, and the robotics with the Neobot and Tesla bot and so on and so forth. It will not continue. It has an expiration date. All right. So it should not be found no more at all. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter, verse 7 to 9. All right. Shop it with me. All right, 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting and son of the times, or when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham and Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. And that's why it was so significant. Why was it called Jacob held the heel of Esau? What's it called? It was the spiritual significance, referring to how it was a foreshadowing, if you will, to show how Esau would have power, and then Jacob after, right? So for Esau, verse 9, the point right here, for Esau, the so-called white man, or really red, because this mofo ain't nothing white. White means purity, righteousness. This mofo is wickedness. This guy should be dark. This guy is red though. You know, to call himself white is the biggest, overstatement, if you will. But it wasn't to say for Esau it's the end of the world, and it wasn't the end of the world. It means the end of an age and of rulership. Because again, Earth bites forever. This ain't like one of those fucking movies like in 2011 where like the whole world gets catastrophe and or whatever these people imagine like a sky city and go on to a new planet. Yeah, we got exoplanets, but this Earth will stay here no matter what. Point blank period. What's it called? It means the end of an age. Though, yes, what's it called? If you will, natural disaster. Well, not natural disaster, but artificial disaster, if you will, because again, the fire will, burn up everything, right? According to many preachers, like Second Peter, the third chapter, verse 10, right? What's it called? Isaiah the 54th chapter, verse 16, and so on and so forth. Right? Which this thermonuclear missile destruction, or thermonuclear destruction will encompass two methods of it, right? The ICBMs and the chariots, so-called UFOs. All right, the shit you see in Independence Day with the city destroyers, they're gonna destroy the city, all right. the chariots, man. But continuing on makes the mention how for Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning that followeth, right? And that's why you need what's it called? That spirit people discern these things. How you wouldn't think much of it unless you would actually realize what's it called? It was a foreshadowing of what's coming. We're talking about Revelation 18 chapter 2. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast into the sea. Thus, the violence of that great city or that great country, Babylon, aka America, be thrown down and should be found no more at all. Going to a complete thermonuclear missile destruction. All right, that's point blank. Period. That comes to mind is the book of Isaiah, the 54th chapter. Actually, Jeremiah. Let's go to Jeremiah, the 50. Chapter with me, 52nd, I think, or 51st. Chapter with me. Hey, because the last two chapters, man, those are heavy. All right, those are heavy chapters, man. Chapter with me. All right, there. 52nd, or actually, chapter with me. Juror 51. I'll put it on the browser right quick. This is a preset I want to pull out. All right, so it was the 51st chapter, verse 25. All right. Jeremiah, the 51st chapter, verse 24. And I will render unto Babylon and to all the inhabitants of Chaldea, referring to these city inhabitants, so-called Americans, all their evil that they have done in Zion in your sight, said the Lord. Hey, because this whole play is all about evil and wickedness, man. They uphold everything that's wicked. They see us out here in the highways and hedges and read the scriptures, and they get pissed off at us. They're like, we don't want to hear the Bible with them. Don't hear them. Hey, but I thought it was a free country. You can do whatever you want. What if I want to read the Bible? But the hypocrisy and the bliss ignorance themselves, and this is that they are the wicked, and Yahweh Bashman will henceforth destroy them. This is the book of, what's it called? Isaiah, the 5th chapter, verse 20, if I'm mistaken. All right, let's go into it. All right. Woe unto them, and what does that word woe mean? Woe means death and destruction, as much as it means grief, lamentation, sorrow, mourning, right? So, death and destruction be upon them that call evil good and good evil, right? That put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. So you guys uphold wickedness, and you have to condemn us for righteousness, right? Yeah, you guys condemn us for what's it called, a rebuking. People don't like rebuke. People are in this. That's why America is a country of pride, right? People are prideful in this country. They don't like to hear correction. They get offended at it. They get butthurt at it. They get butthurt and upset about correction. To them, rebuke is it's judgment. Well, we're supposed to judge. What's it called? How can we be judged without getting some practicing? What's it called? Only God can judge me. Well, frankly, rebuke us rebuking you is way more better than you actually getting judged by the Lord, because that's literal death right there. All right, because you don't fickle with the Lord. You don't mess with the Lord. All right, but what's it called? Continue on. Verse 3. So like that put darkness for light, and light. What's it called? Darkness means everything wicked, and light means what's it called? Everything righteous. And also light means wisdom. Knowledge in this socket, knowledge, which wisdom is encompasses that because it's accumulation of knowledge and experience. But light means knowledge, right? And what's it called? Darkness means not having that. When your mind is darkened, or when the Lord what's it called? Turns off that candlestick, you lose the knowledge. You use the actual true knowledge that the Lord blessed you with, man. When you live in a darkened state, you live ignorant, right? You don't know shit. You guys are brute beasts and relying on instinct instead of actually what's it called? Using the knowledge the Lord gave you, right? People love living in darkness. That's why they uphold Epicureanistic ideals. That's why they're always about ignorance is bliss, because it truly is. And that's why time after Ecclesiastes makes mention now, with much knowledge is sorrow to the heart. All right? Jake, living better, ignorance, not regarding actual important things. But see, it's in that mentality that they hate us for. They don't like hearing what's it called unconventional truths. They're all for. They're all about be honest and so on and so forth. Oh, the truth hurts. When we tell you the fucking truth, and you get butthurt, you get pissed off, man. That seems like double-mindedness, because it is. And because at the end of the day, they want to hear an unconventional truth that benefits them, that's a convenience to them. They don't want to hear bad. They don't want to hear things that go against them. But all of them are, right? So going back to what's it called, Jeremiah, the 51st chapter. So when I will render unto Babylon, to all the inhabitants of Chaldea, and all the evil that they have done, the Zion on your side, said the Lord, all the evil that they have done. Right? Behold, I am against the old destroying mountain, and America is likened to a destroying mountain. A mountain means a government, and it's destructive. That's why what's it called when you go back to the planned attacks, if you will, 9/11, if you will. That was all inside job. Well, it led to the Patriot Act and the War on Terror. And the War on Terror was destructive in itself because they want to, what's it called? It basically plundered all the resources of the heathen as well as oppressed them. So he's on the destructive, government. He's evil. He's nothing but a plague. So again, behold, I am against the whole destroying mountain, destroying government, said the Lord Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Harachakodash, which destroys all the earth. And you destroyed all the earth. You polluted it, right? What's it called? You guys think it was deforestation? You guys do what's it called? Cutting all the trees without any regard for the earth. You don't let it rest. All right, look at what's it called? Gad, and also our law back in what's it called? Israel. We're supposed to leave certain parts of the earth untouched for a certain amount of years to let the earth recover, get a natural yield to strength that. Well, you see this mofo just what's it called? Keep on plundering the resources. That's why we get weaker plants. And also deforestation is a destructive force. It's nature. And keep in mind, trees are actual living beings. The other apostle God broke it down. Trees are actual living beings. So what's it called? That's why Isaiah the 14th chapter makes a mention how the trees shall sing. See this damn that will falling down. These poor trees, goddamn suffering, man. Hey, these trees have suffered just like we have. Hey, the whole earth has suffered, man. The animals, man. When you look at mice, you got laboratory mice, lab mice, white mice. And now you got people out here, what's it called, the raw mentality, feeding them to the snakes, which, what's it called? Time back, it's the natural order. All plants never feeded on themselves. They never preyed on themselves. They looked at a plant-based diet. And that's going to come back soon, as stated in the book of Isaiah 11th chapter, right? It's prophecy that the animals will go back to the natural order of eating plants. You think, what's it called, as Esau says, what's it called, carnivores, where all animals eat plants until the fall of man happened, right? So you're back in the ancient when you wouldn't see, snakes preying upon mice. Now it's a thing. You have the food web and food chain thing, but very soon think about the eating plants as it was ordained, right? What's it called? But you also see Esau, what's it called? Having in the minds of these people to just abuse mice. Oh, mice have disgust. No, mice serve a purpose. They're beautiful creatures. You know, some of the Akim actually held mice as pets, even rats. And rats are actually pretty smart. You know, rats are pretty smart. You know, what's it called? You see these tests, memory tests, and what's it called, intelligence tests that you saw be conducting, and they show they're actually pretty smart, man. You know, for creatures with small brains. You know, that's how about Shimon right there. Yeah, how about Shimon was shy right there, Salaka? How about Shimon was shy right there, showing his power? How magnificent is that? To see a small little animal with a small brain, they be able to actually know how to use a car. You got a little toy car, and you got what's it called? Rats train to turn right, turn left, go straight, back up. So that's an actual thing. That's really the beauty and magnificence of Yahweh Bashman Shai. I agree with that. Oh, Lord, man, that's our dad. That's our dad right there, man. And he's more our dad because what's it called? We've been blessed with this truth, and we were chastised. You know, super points how he had to chastise. He that spread the rod doesn't love. And we're the one getting up, man. Now, how about that? So like, if this thing bug is up. All right, I'm gonna charge my phone now. Bear with me. But I'm gonna go into the book of Isaiah 11 chapter right quick. Bear with me. Right. Okay, 20. All right, so the 11th chapter, verse 6. The wolf also shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid. Right, and the calf and the young lion and the fatling together, and a little child shall lead them. And anytime I was called a metaphor for any other bullshit analogies, people be coming up with the benefit their cause, but it's a literal, actual thing. You know, so-called prayers and praise together. Right, and the cow and the bear shall feed; their young ones shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox. You know, straw. What's it called? Grass, herbs. You know, lions will be eating that. That was a natural order. Right? And the second child shall play on the hole of the asp, and the weaned child shall put his hand the cockatrice den. And normally you don't put your hand in no den. You know, a weasel may bite your freaking finger off, right? Or you put your hand into the mouth of an ostrich. That ostrich will bite your hand clean. You know, or a hippo. But that goes to show you how you have like little Jake baby who was called the kingdom. You know, playing with the teeth of what's it called, lion or whatever, and the lion won't do anything. So that goes to show you how everything will go back to the way it once was, right? Animals not preying on each other. You know, that's the thing right now with the fall of man. That's what you had what's it called, going back with Samson. You know, Samson, met up with a young lion came up upon him. But obviously, what's it called? He had a spiritual power, and the Lord was able to ground that strength, and he was able to defeat the lion. All right. Also, yeah, King David. You know, a lion came up upon him, was protecting the herd, and King David was or before he was king, he was a young man. He had a sling. He was a good shot, right? And he was able to kill that lion clean. You know, but in the kingdom, you will not see no praying of that anymore. All right. Hey, a lion will be as docile. A lion will be as docile. A lion will be as docile as a mouse. Right? What's it called? You're gonna see just like how a mouse is very, very fearful. Well, that's how it once was back in the day. Right? That's why going back Genesis 6 or 7 chapter, the Lord literally told hey, I'm gonna pull that out now. I'll pull that out actually. Slack here. Genesis. And apparently, this is the most recognized book in the world, but for them not actually know what the book actually goes into, that could show you a lack of study. But anyways, go back to the OG, as they say, OG chapter. They say, hey, because we look into that word, the word Genesis go back to the Hebrew word barashath, meaning in the heading, so the start, the origins, and also that word Genesis go back to the Greek word Genesis, which means the origins, the beginning of something, right? How about that? The OG chapter, as they say, But there's a priest that want to pull out. The smoking. The tobacco, man, smoking tobacco, that's a defilement of your temple. What's a destroy for that? If anything, you're already destroying yourself as it is, man. But the Lord actually gonna destroy you for that, for smoking, you know. But shuffle with me uh, in Genesis 9th chapter, verse 1, and power blessed Noah and his son and descendants to them. Hey, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. Being fruitful and multiply meaning to have, abundance of kids. Meaning to have sex. And people out here, what's it called in this Western society? They think of sex as something, out there, like that's as a sin. They treat it as a sin, Which what's it called? That premarital sex bull crap. That's not in the scriptures. Sex is marriage pursuant to the scriptures. That legal paper documentation that was never in the scripture. Look at the GMB, the Good News Bible translation. What's it called when when Jacob got with Leah, and the only what's it called consummation was popping the woman in the bedchambers, and that was what's it called. He made the woman the wife, right? So hey, nothing wrong with that. People out here trying to demonize not having sex, but it literally says be fruitful and multiply. That is one thing Esau done, put in the minds of the people. They think of certain things in the scriptures be taboo. Anyway, and the fear and replenish the earth. And Esau, back with the Georgia Guidestones, before the riots happened in 2020, you had the Guidestones before they were bombed, and the Guidestones, one of them literally said, keep the earth at a limit of 500 million people. Hey, but we're at 8 billion. But who that Guidestone is going off. You're not supposed to have a 500 million people. It says and replenish the earth. To have kids is a blessing, to humankind. So really, that Guidestone was going against what the Lord commanded. 500 million, not as off. But as a part of the depopulation agenda that Esau imposed. People think that be a conspiracy theory, but it's actually what's it called? It's part of that order of kill thing. Which time at the Micah the second chapter, it's part of the prophecy, man. What's it called? You're supposed to replenish the horde, have as much people, man. And it'll come to a point where the earth will be so overpopulated, we'll have to go off to other planets. People think that thing to be a crazy thing. What? Going to other planets, colonizing other, well, it's scripture, it's prophecy, right? And having other planets, man. Which you got Jake out here talking about that flat Earth shit. They breaking down the scriptures wrong, talking about flat Earth and using the scriptures to twist it up. There ain't no flat Earth. How can there be flat Earth if there's planets in the sky? That makes no sense. Oh, there's a firmament, that no one can pass. Nothing's up there, right? What's it called? It's just everything's flat and there's a big old dome, and what's it called? That's it. But then they be talking about planets. Well, now there's a firmament. What's it called? The Earth is the Earth that goes in the ozone layer. The firmament is an ozone layer, and the Earth is a sphere. And outside of it, there's space. What's planet? So like you see, for planets, and that's even in the scriptures. One of the planets, man. But I digress back. And the fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth and upon every fowl in the air, upon all that moveth upon the earth and upon all the fishes of the sea. And to your hands are they delivered. So going back to Isaiah, the 11th chapter, we'll go back to normal where all the animals that are once predators will actually be on our side, man. Right now, they're in this state of attacking humans as a part of prophecy. Because they go into the fall of man. Also, it wasn't use them for prophecy, for death. Right? Look at Sirach, the 39th chapter. It goes into how, teeth of wild beasts. Right? That's in the book of, what's it called? That's in the book of Ecclesiastes or Sirach. Right? And the prologue is on Sirach or the book of wisdom, but also the wisdom of Solomon, also known as the book of wisdom. But it is the 39th chapter. Verse 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force in the piece of wrath of them that made them. So a piece of wrath of who? Yahweh, the Heavenly Father that created, right? So because the Lord doesn't like wickedness. You got that one bullshit philosophy within these so-called like Christian churches. They be saying that God loves the sin. It's like God loves the sinner and he's a sin. Well, the Lord hates the sin and the sinner. He doesn't love the sinner. He hates the sin. That ties back to 12th chapter, verse 6. So it literally reads in the 12th chapter, verse 6. What's it called? For the Most High, Yahweh, hateth sinners and will repay vengeance to the ungodly. and keepeth them against the mighty day of their punishment. So the Lord hates both the sin and the sinner. And with that being said, well, talking about the 39th chapter, verse 28, which in their fury lay on sore strokes, in the time of destruction they pour out their force and appease. Appease means to please. Please. Please who? The Lord. The wrath of him, the Lord that made them. Fire and hail. And that goes into the angels, man, because the angels, right-hand angels and left-hand angels. Left-hand angels are always what's it called? The evil. Satan is a left-hand angel of the Most High. He does not hate the Most High. He loves the Most High. Talking about the Job, the second chapter, it literally goes into how he met up with the Lord. You know? And that guy's, Satan is more righteous than we. Hey, we're in the flesh. Our righteousness are as filthy rags, as the scriptures state. So how then, what's it called? Can we be better than? We're not better than him. He's better than us because he's perfected, and he does righteousness by doing what the Lord commanded him, which is manifest wickedness in people, man. Now, how confusing is that? Well, that's because the Lord had it for you to understand these things, man. That's why time after Isaiah the 6th chapter makes the mention now, let them not understand, right? Hey, this thing is supposed to be a stumbling block to many. And even you may come into this truth, the Lord may set up teachers, false prophets, and then you fall out. Or there may be a certain breakdown. You may listen a couple years into this thing, and you fall out because now you lost all faith. 200 million missiles. I remember one of the elders going to that, how, they told Jake about 200 million missiles popping off. And then that Jake was like, no, I don't believe this trailer. 200 million missiles is very specific. Well, that's what the scriptures say, man. Right? 200,000, if I'm mistaken. You two all got together. That's 2 million, or it's like a 200 million. It's like, you know. And there's a lot of freaking missiles, man. Always be manufactured. The ones that have been, publicly shown. The ones in the works that we don't even know about. You know. All right. Come on. Fire and hail and famine and death. All these were created for vengeance. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents, right? Hey, but the animals are supposed to have peace with us, and they will be very soon again in the kingdom. Right now, they're doing the Lord's will, which is again. That's where you have that what's it called certain events. I see on the news where people get mauled out by what's it called animal teeth. Very cuddly dogs. The angels, going, what's it called, influence them to maul down their caretaker or whatever. Now that person has to get what's it called 20 stitches or whatever. If you're getting several recurring plastic surgeries to look as good as they once did before, right? So, teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents, and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. Because again, the Lord hates the wicked. He doesn't love the wicked. He hates them. And that's why time after Ecclesiastes, it makes or it's like probably the 16th chapter, not Ecclesiastes. The 16th chapter, verse 4, it makes the mention how the Lord, will bring the evil for the day of destruction. The wicked for the day of evil. So, the 16th chapter, verse 4, the Lord Yahweh hath made all things for himself. Yea, even the wicked, right? Even the wicked for the day of evil. The day of evil, which is that thermonuclear destruction. Best believe Yahweh Bashir Shai is not going to fucking deliver. All right? He's going to deliver an elect. That is it. You can't be saved just because you claim to be, right? Or you believe in Yahweh Shai. Which, to be frank, they don't even believe in Yahweh Shai. They believe in the pale, they believe in Caesar Borgia. But Yahweh Shai was a so-called black man pursuant to the scriptures. Oh no, he was olive. We'll talk about olive. There's a green olive and a brown olive. Yahweh Shai was a brown olive, But again, even the wicked for the day of evil. Right? And everyone that is proud in heart is an abomination to the Lord. Though hand in hand, he should not be unpunished. Right? And what does it say in the book of Proverbs, the 8th chapter? If I'm mistaken. All right, what's it called? Pride leads to destruction, and haughty spirit before a fall. I'll pull that out actually. You can't make that up, man. You can't make that up. Proverbs 18th chapter. Or it's like 8th chapter, I believe it was. It's like a wrong chapter, but this is a good precept either way. Verse 13. The fear of the Lord is to hate evil. Salaki. to hate evil. And we're supposed to hate evil. We're not supposed to glorify and enamor it. Hell no, we're against it, man. We're against evil. The fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride, and arrogancy. And the evil way in the forward mouth do I hate. So the Lord hates that, man. All right, we're supposed to be against it. You know, hey, what did King David say? I hate them that hate thee. Hey, what's it called? Psalm 116, he made the mention now, or 109, he made the mention now. Through thy precepts I get understanding. Therefore, I hate every false way. What false way? These vain ideologies, these ways of thinking. What one way of thinking? Pride, being of a haughty spirit. And that's what most of these women getting fucking judgment and shit, man. And you got women out here, what's it called? You know, they have standards. You know, so and they out here, what's it called? Like 10 plus, 1 plus body is already a fucking problem, man. Oh, you're insecure. No, we're what's it called? Righteously biased to people. Yeah, we have biases because we go by the scriptures again. With thy precepts, I get understanding. Therefore, I hate every false way. So that Esau came up with the word ethnocentrism. Well, we're not supposed to. It's like we are ethnocentric. We're biblical ethnocentric. We're biblical-centric. You know, because we go by the scriptures. You know, we don't go up by these other ways of thinking. We're biblical-centric, if you will, right? So we are going to be biased. We are quote unquote bigots. You know, because the things we teach are the scriptures. All right. So they best believe these women got judgment to pay, man. All right, especially the so-called sisters. You know, they behind the scenes out here, what's it called? Wicked as fuck, ravenous as hell. And you got all these certain women that cheated against the prophets, right? At best believe when Isaiah 4:1 pops off, you will not be accepted, man. All right. This is the book of Isaiah, 3rd chapter. All right, verse 16. Moreover, the Lord Yahweh saith, because the daughters of Zion, and there's a difference between daughter of Zion and daughters. Daughter of Zion is the title for the nation of Israel. Daughters with an S plural refers to the actual women. All right, so moreover, the Lord Yahweh saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty. Haughty means uplifting, also pridefulness. And walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and missing as they go and making a tinkling with their feet. You know, I always wonder what's it called, them eyeing on other men when they have a man. You know? Well, that's you going off already. You know, that's a form of adultery going to your heart because what the Yahweh Shai made the mention. You know, he extrapolated on what's called adultery going to even fantasizing about it in your mind is already adultery in your heart. Heart goes after the Hebrew word lab meaning mind. So you already got messed up in your mind, you know? That's anything applies to the men. Yeah, certain guys out here that see a married woman and like, God damn, she's fine. And they already fantasize about, doing, having sexual relations with her. Well, that's you committing adultery in your heart. Just because you don't physically do it doesn't mean you didn't go off. You go off, man. All right, so continuing on. Therefore, the Lord will smite with the scab of the crown of the head, the crown to the top of the head. The daughters of Zion, the Lord will discover the secret parts. And considering how the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans of the Israelite women, Israelites, that was, their women, Eve, right? And that's why you have what's it called, Southern Kingdom. That's why they're bald. And that's why they gotta wear weaves, man. Oh, we have the best hair in the hair. Best hair in the world. Oh, you cannot wear braids. Well, what's it called? Certain cultures rock braids, like the Vikings, man. And to begin with, you don't even rock. You rock other people's hair, man. Wearing blonde weaves, as you envying your oppressor. So that goes to show you the hypocrisy and the ridiculous nature of the nigga woman, Eve, the Israelite woman, Hey, time out the Proverbs 9 chapter verse 13. But she is clamorous, a fool, right? She knows nothing. That's scripture say. Hey, because time out the Job the 33rd chapter, if I'm mistaken, the 33rd chapter, make the mention how he did not impart wisdom upon her, right? Hey, but they're somehow better, right? Hey, but then again, didn't the Bloody Mary, the queen, what's it called? I believe she was a Protestant, if I'm mistaken, or so I can know she was a Catholic queen, and she murdered all the Protestants. Now Protestants and Catholics, they were already going off anyways, But you see what's it called, their nature as well. I mean, look at what's it called, Queen Elizabeth. And she got down. She literally beheaded her cousin, the Queen of Scots, Queen Mary, the Queen of Scots. All right, that shows you a bloody nature too. You know, talking about what's it called, men are only war. Not you, you're for war too. You guys are violent too. You know, fucking idiots, man. That shows you. That shows you. What's it called? Double-minded nature, hypocrisy. Best believe you, how about Shmuel was shy is gonna fucking destroy you for that shit, man. And you get fucking pissed off, man. All right, you know what's it called? And if we get pissed off, how much more the Lord? You know, it's gonna be worse. It's a worse. It's a worse thing that face them, right? Because again, the things we speak are not of ourselves; it's of the Lord. So again, what's it called? I'm gonna jump down. Verse 25. Thy man shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty in the war. When you look at a mighty man, it goes into a warrior. Because we're talking about what we'll agree in that draft coming very soon. You're gonna have a lot of these men, get sent up over there to fight. Well, and their gates shall lament, and what's it called? When you go to the Middle East, you are never gonna come back. Once you get sent out for that war, you're never gonna come back. You will die in World War III, man. So, and their gates shall lament and mourn, and so we're never gonna hear them again. That's a definition right there. That's the meat grinder. All right. So and her gates shall lament and mourn, and she being desolate shall sit upon the ground. Right. That goes into the judgment of these women, and that's where these lies in the 4th chapter, verse 1. And that day 7 women shall take hold of one man. Oh, that's referring to a certain context. There is no other historical event in history where that happened. There is no other historical event, or what's it called, that took place with the so-called Amalekites. What was like so-called Jesus with the Amalekites? That's gonna happen very soon, though. I don't know. So 7 means many, a completion, right? So many women will take hold of one Israelite man. Hey, because there's gonna be a scarcity of them. When something is scarce, there's high demand for it, right? And what does Scripture say? Will be what's it called? Finding the golden wedges of Ophir, right? With that being said, hey, the prophets, man, will be high value men very soon, right? But then go to one man saying we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Now that could happen, but again, as the elders have said, that's a mindset mentality. They're going to humble themselves from that haughty spirit, because again, a haughty spirit leads to a fall, right? Whom is we call by thy name to take away our reproach. Shashatan, Bashim Yahweh Bashim Oshai, Bashim Rakatodash. Agayarka, Arishaika, Mayanya Rakawath, Raiwath, Shashatan, Bahasham, Yahweh Bashim Oshai, Bashim Rakatodashama. I think of curses from them. You know, because that may be done on purpose. It may be done on purpose. You know, that people. Right? Mashapatyan, right? Mashapatyan, right? Wath, Shatan. Right? Ba'asham Yahweh Ba'asham Awashai, Ba'asham Arakat Dashama. Yeah. That's a Hebrew verse right there. But coming back though, Revelation the 18th chapter, the 21. And the mighty again, and the Jeremiah the 51st chapter, Slakia. That was the original one. So Jeremiah the 51st chapter, verse 25. Behold, I am against the old destroying mountain, said the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Awashai, which destroys all the earth. And I will stretch out mine hand upon thee, and rope thee down from the rocks, and will make thee a burnt mountain. And that's going to a thermonuclear destruction. That's a cool thing. That's a lie. It's not scaring the people. You know, it's prophecy. The things that prophecy states we're supposed to speak it, because again, it's not of ourselves. Again, it's written, I will put my words in thy mouth. Right? So the things we speak are not of ourselves again. Right? So jumping down, or actually jumping up back to the first chapter, or the beginning of the first chapter, or 51st chapter. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I will raise up against Babylon, and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me a destroying wind. and that goes into what's it called, the mushroom clouds and the blaster that comes from it, right? Anytime I know missile, of course, clearly it is. But again, it's a stumbling block because you're not supposed to receive this thing. And that's why Yahweh Shai made that mention when speaking to his disciples, on to how it is for us to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, not to them. All right? What's a mystery? The introduction of the kingdom comes by way of, prophecy, being destructive. So, and I will send to Babylon fanners that shall fanner, and shall empty your land. When the day of trouble, they shall be against you round about. Right? Against him that bendeth up the arch bend his foe. And against him that lifted up. And that goes into the thermonuclear silos, the missile silos. The missiles and what's it called, which is not only by way of underground silos, which open up, but also by way of these submarines and by what's it called, mounted vehicles. Right? Also one thing Esau has, or what Esau's trying to do, he's trying to install what's it called with the space command that he's established. He's trying to have certain satellites which deflect missiles. So another missile defense system. Trump was already talking about what's it called, the Iron Dome, which ain't referred to a little. You got people out here taking the Simpsons for literal. Actual Iron Dome covering the entirety of the country. You can't cover the entirety of the country like that. Iron Dome is metaphorical for what's it called, missile defense system. Right. With that being said, it's going to possession of missiles. But also with that space command, they got satellites out there that they want to install deflect other missiles. So yeah, now you got two pieces of armor. That's where it goes into they got the other stuff in the brigandine. But it all come to naught. It's all gonna come to naught. Nothing. It's all gonna be vain. Because at the end of the day, you can't upset prophecy. So against him that let the archer bend his bow, and against him that lifted himself up in his brigandine, and brigandine is a hole, or from mistaken, it's an outer layer of armor wrapped around the hull of the ship, if I'm mistaken. So it's an extra piece of armor. You see in ancient ships, when they were cutting through ice, they had what's they call a certain piece of armor that cut through it, so they wouldn't get hurt. So the ship wouldn't take damage. Well, that's what a brigandine is, ship armor. And with that being said, that's what it's going into. Right? What's it called? Armor. That's a defense system. So, and his brigandine, spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all their hosts. So, Lord don't give a fuck, man. Lord's gonna destroy this whole place, man. Point blank, period. And we can't stress that out enough. Again, elect be safe. Hey, that's why it's written. That's why it's written. This world is for many, but the world to come for few. All right, you can't misconstrue that. It is as it's written, Salaki. It is as it's written, Salaki. All right, so Isaiah the 10th chapter, verse 20. Verse 20. All right, and it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel, and anytime I know spiritual Israel, where if you just believe you could be a part of that number, that's not how it fucking works. Again, it's a predestination, so it's an elect, a remnant, a small piece of the pie. All right, you get the diagram, you got the 3 pieces of the pie, 1/3 will be delivered, which encompasses the 144,000 servants of the prophets. That's in the book of Zechariah, all right, the 13th chapter, verse 8. I'll pull that out. So you can't just because you so-called believe doesn't mean shit. You're not gonna get saved for that. You have that one OnlyFans whore who so-called reformed and just like, I'm safe because I believe in Jesus Christ. That's not how the fuck it works. Point blank, period. And that's Edomite, to be frank. So ain't no salvation for that. What's it called? This is the book of Zechariah. So I can pull it out. All right, 13th chapter. Verse 8. And it should come to pass that in all the land, what land? America. Saith the Lord Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, right, of hosts. Right, so like, let's say, 2 parts therein, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die. Cut off and die. That's what it's written. That's what it's literally written. I'm not sure you can see it, Salakia. 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die. Right? but the third shall be left therein. And that's the elect, a remnant. And you have to be an Israelite by blood. And obviously, what's it called? The spirit you believe you're an Israelite, that's because you have that bloodline. You know? What's it called? Um, Now I'll bring the third part to the fire and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call my name, and I will hear. The name actually matters. Yahweh Ba'ashmi Awashai. And not Yahuwah, Grant Methamar, whatever the frick you call it. You know? Not Yeshaya. Hey, Yeshaya is a different word for saying the Lord is salvation. Or it's like if I'm saying Yeshaya means Yahweh is salvation, but Yahweh Shai, the true name of the Son is He will save. Talking about the Matthew the first chapter, verse 21. And that's actually correction on my part because I remember I made the mention how Yeshaya in the Hebrew, it means, in the English, it means He is exalted. But I was confusing the name of Isaiah with Jeremiah. Jeremiah means, if I'm mistaken, it's pronounced Jeremiah. Correct me if I'm wrong on that pronunciation. But in the outline of biblical usage, his definition is He is exalted. The Lord is exalted. But yeah, Shai does mean Yahweh's salvation. But that's not the name of the Lord, the Son. It's Yahweh Shai. He will deliver. He will save. Right? So, two parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. And I will bring the third part through the fire and will refine them as silver. And we're being refined, during these trials, man. You look at some person in the world and they come into this thing, they'll immediately, bug out. They can't last a single day enduring. They don't know what enduring is. They know in the physical sense, but not a spiritual sense of holding up from desires because they're supposed to be spiritual, not carnal minded. And I speak to myself first and foremost on that matter. We all speak to ourselves first and foremost on that matter. What's it called? The Apostle Paul made the mention how, you know, I subjugate my members, right? I mortify the deeds of the flesh. Mortify means to kill up. We're supposed to, hold off on these desires, man. You know? Right? And frankly, the desires of this flesh is wickedness. It does the contrary of what's commanded of us, right? And that's why, again, all righteousness are filthy rags. Because time out, what was the book of James? They made the mention how if we sin once, we break the whole law. Now we break the whole law just by breaking one commandment. So what's it called? Obviously, the deliverance won't be by keeping the law. Though, if you're the elect, you keep the law. Most fellows don't do that. They just claim that, it's all by faith. But time out to what James, in the book of James, the first chapter I pull it out, the Apostle James in the mention now, I will show you my faith by my works. You truly believe in something, you're actually going to do it. So, I believe it was the second chapter. Yeah, second chapter, verse, all right, verse 22. Seest thou how faith wrought with his works, and by works was faith made perfect? And the scripture was fulfilled, which saith, Abraham believed Yahweh, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness, and he was called a friend of Yahweh. You see then how that by works a man is justified, and not by faith only, right? Which, there's also that one other precept he made the mention, I'll show you my faith by my works. Because, again, you truly believe in something, you're going to keep it. I remember the other disciple was going into that, going in depth on that in the book of James. Tying back, though, they shall call my name, and I will hear them. I will say, is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my power. The Lord Yahweh is my God, right? My power. Time back to Isaiah 10th chapter, right? Verse 20. And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped to the house of Jacob escape once the elect, because they're the only ones that are going to be delivered out that fire, right? Preserved from that fire. Hey, I can be having many dreams, man. I be having dreams. Thermonuclear fire and you left untouched. And you got beamed up on the cherry, man. If it feels good enough getting beamed up in a cherry in your dream, how much more in real? God damn. How about that? How about that? Hey, hell, just for a cherry to pop out, that's a freaking sight, man. That's a beautiful sight. They're up here, you can't see them right now. It's pretty crowded. And they make themselves own one. But just because you don't see a cherry doesn't mean you're not being dealt with. All right, I know what's it called, one of the elders dudes in the Dallas camp. They never seen a cherry in person. Right? Hey, but that also a trial. How that keep having that faith even though you've never seen it in person. You've seen it in footages, right? You heard testimonies from the Akim. I've seen the cherry, but you never seen it yourself. Well, you still believing and being in the truth. That's faith right there. That's faith right there. But I've only seen the cherry like once or twice. thrice probably. I don't know, third time's the charm, as they say, right? Third time's a little charm. And that's a charm, that's a sight. That's a beautiful thing to see a charity. So-called UFOs. And there's no wonder why they're so manifest because it is prophecy. I'm at the, what's it called? I'm at the same chapter. I believe second Zechariah, the same book. Not the same chapter. The fifth chapter. Or is it for not? No, yeah, I think it was Zechariah, the fifth chapter. It goes into that. It goes into the chariots. So, come on. Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes, and looked, and behold, a flying roll. And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof is 10 cubits. Now I forget the exact measurement, our contemporary measurements that are equal to the cubits, but it was pretty small. And I remember the other apostle taught me making the mention. A chariot can span any size. It could be the size of a bus, a country, what's it called, a plane, half the size of the earth, right? So chariots different sizes in that, right? So in this case, this was about 10 cubits long. It's like the breadth was 10 cubits, and the length was 20 cubits. So it was pretty small. Then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth, right? So when you see these so-called UFOs, obviously those are chariots, man. People are like, your conspiracy theory, those are aliens, some fucking bullshit like that. Well, that's fucking stupid because what's it called? UFOs are actually the chariots that you can receive. Again, this thing is about faith, right? This thing is about faith. And that's why Esau and Jake, what's it called? A certain Jake, though Jake is a spiritual people, yet when they've been consumed too much by other philosophies, they can never understand these things. That's why the heathen can't understand these things. Certain heathen do. All right, some heathen know the Israelites, and they're getting ready for destruction. You know, but what's it called? A majority they cannot grasp the fact that the chariots written from the scriptures are actually the UFOs. To them, it's like ancient aliens on History Channel type shit. That's how they see it. You know, oh, who built the pyramids? X-Files music playing in the background. But they seek answers. We have the answers, but they don't record. But that goes to show you, a lack of faith that they have. I'll pull out another priest in the book of Jeremiah. Or Slack, Habakkuk, the first chapter, Slack. Habakkuk, the first chapter. The first chapter, verse 5. Behold, ye among the heathen, and regard. And we're among the heathen because America is a melting pot. It is a culmination of various cultures mingled into one. That's why we have the American taco, the American pizza. It all differs from the actual authentic food in the actual country that it originates from. What's it called? That ties back to that same spirit Esau was in back in the ancient world. Hellenization, Romanization, Americanization. The Americanizing of various things, various cultural staples. Right? So America is a melting pot, man. And I'm not sure you ever heard that. What's it called? School of Rock. I'm just thinking that's what it's called. School of, I'm not referring to the movie, but the actual company that made songs for kids, like multiplication songs. They also made a song called Melting Pot. America the Great Melting Pot. America the Great Melting Pot. Well, that's how that song goes. And that's what we're in. We're among the heathen because all the heathen nations are on this place. Hey, what's it called? You go down the street, you got what's it called, Chinese food. You got what's it called, Indian food, man. you go the other block, there's Mexican food. So this whole place is what's it called, melting pot. So behold ye among the heathen, and this applies to this day too, right? And regard and wonder marvelously. For I will work a work in your days, which you will not believe, though it be told you. And we're telling you those UFOs are the chariots of the Lord. You guys like, nah, that's not true. Well, then, so be it. If you can't receive it, then walk away. You just stay looking for answers. You seek answers so bad you can't receive it, though. That's like a stumbling block on its own. You prefer the journey over actually getting the answer, the destination, right? Right? You'll have to say the journey sucks. In certain circumstances, the journey is actually makes the whole trip worthwhile. Over the destination, right? Back in grade school, or middle school, you try to hook up, or not hook up, try to get your little schoolgirl crush, and you prefer the journey over actually the actual destination. You prefer the chasing on that crap. Man. You know how Jake is with that shit. So yeah, like driving the car down the neighborhood. Passing by a beautiful waterfall. Blasting in music. Do you prefer the journey over the destination, right? But in this case, it's what's called when you're looking for the answers, that whole journey, that whole adventure. Well, it's best to actually, go for the destination. You know, um, but yeah. Tying back to Zechariah the fifth chapter again, let's see unto me, this is a curse that goeth forth over the whole face of the earth, right? And you see how these sightings and reportings always make you mention how they're always, prominent in America compared to, they're popping up in the EU all the time, but in other parts, the other continents, it's more scarce, more sparse. Whereas here, what's it called? The whole country's lit up, man, with freaking lights represent all the sightings seen. Well, that's fulfilling a prophecy too. That's in the book of Amos, right? This is the book of Amos, the 89th chapter. I'm mistaken. Yeah, 9th chapter, verse 8. Behold, the eyes of the Lord Yahweh are upon the sinful kingdom. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. What's it called? The eyes of the Lord Yahweh are upon the sinful kingdom, right? The eyes of the Lord, that goes into the angels. And what do the angels maneuver in? The chariots. That chariots. And look at the eyes of the Lord, that goes into the chariots. They're recording everything. My favorite scripture was obviously to mention how they that see the both good and the evil. And you got chariots pop out on TikToks, man. You got women out here doing TikToks and you see a chariot pull up, man. That's the Lord right there. Hey, beholding the wicked, beholding the evil. Also good because they be popping out at camp too. Yeah, so you watch swimming camps and I can be looking at the sky and you see a chariot right there. You know how it is. It's a beautiful sight. Which, I don't see no chariots right now. Whatever. That doesn't mean not there. They're there. They get cloaked up so they could turn invisible, right? And you got something what Esau coins a lenticular cloud, which a lenticular cloud means a UFO looking cloud. That's a chariot right there, you know. That's a chariot right there. Hey, but what's it called? Upon the sinful kingdom, and what is America? A sinful kingdom, you know. It is like in a Sodom and Gomorrah. It is spiritual Sodom and Gomorrah. It is spiritual Egypt. It is all these kingdoms that once stood and what's it called existed. Because America falls in the same footsteps as its country, and that's why the Senate is a thing. The Senate, American Senate, comes back from the Roman Senate. The whole idea of democracy, demokratia in the Greek. Demokratia is a rule of the people, which came out with ancient Greece, right? The architecture, Dorian architecture, Corinthian architecture, right? What's it called? The medical system. All this goes back to ancient civilizations that once came before. All right, Esau upholds Hammurabi's law. So the idea that history doesn't serve a purpose in trying to identify the country, well, that's ridiculous because again, as the other apostle to Hard and all the other arguments and on down, it mentioned you cannot learn the mystery without having learned the history, right? The history is an important segue to actually what the scriptures intend. You can't just read it superficially. Oh, my opinion says no, because you need contextual. That's where historians always debate on each other on what a certain argument means. What's it called? Using context. Context. An example would be Marie Antoinette of France during the French Revolution. She said, what's it called? Keys de la brioche or something like that, which literally translates to let the people eat cake in the English, but the word cake in the French is brioche, meaning bread, brioche bread, not freaking no frosting cake, man. You put the bigotry on that, That's why the same thing with the scriptures is important to know the context of what the hell you're reading. What does the word world mean? Who are the Israelites? What does the word stranger and the Gentile mean? Stranger go after the Greek word parepidemos, right? And the word Greek in the Greek means Hellenes, right? Or Hellenas. Maybe wrong on that pronunciation. You know, and one of the words, Mashiach, Messiah. Well, it means anointed because Yahweh Shai was chosen. He was a Lord. He was a Lord's anointed. You know, you know. But I like rest battle. The eyes of the Lord Yahweh upon the sinful kingdom, again America, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I would not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, save the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Rashad. So, I goes into destruction. That's right now. It's happening right now. And actually, this precept, it's present and future tense because we're not safe. We're not presented until that destruction actually happens. Then you will see who the actual elect are getting preserved in that fire. And that's the way certain scriptures may be past, present, and future. Certain chapters can be past, present, future tense. Yeah, that the spirit actually concerned what it's going into. Revelation 20 is going to 1,000 years. The first 1,000 years happened back with the Byzantine Empire, the continuation of the Roman Empire, the Eastern Roman Empire. But the reasons why historians or scholars dub it the Byzantine is because that was what's it called, where the capital was at, Byzantium, right? The ancient city, which is now known as Istanbul. But before it got named Istanbul, it was known as Constantinople, named after Constantine the Great. Well, that was the first 1,000 years, and it ruled over a little 1,000 years, like 1123, like 1,123 years or so. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But there's going to be another 1,000 years that hasn't happened yet. Because Yahweh Shai was on the scene during that time. He was in the spirit realm, you know. He was on the right hand side, perfected, just waiting. So it's going through two separate 1,000 years, you know. Ezekiel, I believe it was Ezekiel, the 17th chapter or so. Or correct me if I'm wrong on that one. The one that goes into the line of traffic, which is America. It goes, what's it called? What's it called? It jumps tenses, right? Yeah, the spirit understand what it's going into. So this is present tense because the eyes of the Lord are upon the sinful kingdom right now, and very soon we'll get delivered. Okay, that's why it says, "When the Lord will destroy it from out the past." It hasn't happened yet. It will very soon, right? For lo, I will command it, and I will set the house of Israel among all the nations, like as corn seeded in the seed. It shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. Now, what's it called? That also goes. This verse also goes into the sifting of people. Out this truth, we'll be having people, fall out, right? A lot of house cleaning being done in GMS. What's it called? I'm not a part of it. I follow it. But what's it called? You have individuals that get kicked out, and they bug out and they fall out. Then when they do a lesson, they don't start out with a double honors. You know, like we see that time and time again. You got individuals that get called out, they get buggered, stuff, and they do another lesson, and there's no double honors to the apostles and elders. Only must be some lessons to be elected. Well, what's it called? What's it called? Now it's not. What's it called? Now that's kind of disrespectful. If you get rebuked by one of the apostles and elders or one of the Akim and GMS, and they do videos on you, what's it called? You get rebuked, but if anything, that's correction from the Lord, and that is correction. You take heed to that and accept it for what it is, and build off of that. Repent, right? Being rebuked by Yakim shouldn't be a death sentence, man. And that's what it is, because when you fall off this thing, you're basically screwing yourself up, man. I take glass back, and it says, "All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword," right? Which they say that evil shall not overtake them. Evil will overtake and prevent you. All right. All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword. Which say the evil shall not overtake, not prevent us. Right. Well, it is. Because I'm at the First Thessalonians, the 5th chapter, made the mention how when they shall speak of peace and safety, destruction will come upon them, man. And that's why destruction will come as a thief in the night. Point blank, period. All right. Going back to America, the slogan, Trump's slogan, "America first," improving the country's infrastructure by way of isolationism, which is what Herbert Hoover did, FDR originally did. Not Herbert Hoover, slacking, no. It was Woodrow Wilson, the first committee, slacking, let me rephrase that. Woodrow Wilson coined the term America first, isolationism, to prevent America from joining the World War I. It came back in the first committee, and FDR also upheld that idea until Germany attacked them with a submarine. And then America went to that Second World War. We're headed for World War III right now, very soon. And America once again is upholding the slogan of America first. Isolationism, what's it called? The separating of yourself from other connections with other organizations and countries to focus on improving your infrastructure. Well, that's going to lead to America joining World War III. Again, because Ecclesiastes 1 and 9, the thing that has been is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. So history will once again repeat itself, point blank, period. So I'm going to end it up in the book of First Thessalonians, 5th chapter, right? Uh, verse 3. Actually, verse 1. But at the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord will so come up as a thief in the night. It is coming as a thief in the night. Again, you will not expect it. People would say expect the unexpected. You will not expect the unexpected. You will expect nothing. And that's where you're going to err off. For when they shall say peace and safety, again with that America First slogan, right? Then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as shall will upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Right? With that being said, hey, America will be destroyed by way of thermonuclear missiles and the chariots, man. All right, we're from the rough times, man. Destruction on the earth, right? Oh, now they make it sound like what's it called? Gary the Prophet from freaking Cyberpunk. Oh, Arasaka. No, we say this thing is actually literal. Destruction will come upon the earth, man. I'm gonna end it off in the book of Isaiah, the 54th chapter, verse 16. Actually, slacking. I think I'll choose a different precept. A different precept. There's something like literally, I'm literally debating which one should I end it off on. Whatever, let's look at the measures on this. All right. Second is the 16th chapter. Hey, verse 1. Hey, woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Gird up yourselves with cloth and sack and hair. And that's not a little, a country can't freaking clothe itself, man. But it's going to a mentality, humble yourselves goddamn down. They like people in Nineveh did. Jonah pulled up and he was like, "What's going to destroy you if you don't repent?" And they repented. The city of Nineveh didn't physically, become self-aware and then, grow up, man, create random hands out of thin air, put on some sackcloth. Or were the walls, what's it called? Like clothed? No, the walls were not clothed with sackcloth. It's a mentality. So, gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry, for destruction, right? For your destruction is at hand, right? A sword, and that destruction is metaphorical. Oh, that's talking about what's it called? What's it called? God coming back and destabilizing. Yeah, as a part of it, but it's not only that. It encompasses actual destruction. Because right now it's a destabilizing of the economy right now. Look at the dollar. The dollar is worse off than it was back in like the 50s, man. What was it called? Now we're like a society paying $2,800, a month, for some shitty ass apartment, and then guys, the gas prices are so up. The gas prices are so up, man. So now you're basically a slave. You wake up, you go to work, and that's it. You gotta pay the bill. That's it. And that's where you got all these memes out here. When they go into the having to pay bills is like getting beheaded. They have like it's like a little post that I saw on Instagram, and like it's supposed to be the guillotine, but the blade is a freaking credit or debit card. It hurts to waste money. That's how freaking bad this economy is right now, and it's only gonna get worse. It's only gonna get worse. So, hey, so it's an internal destruction before an actual little external destruction. Man. How about that? So a sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? No one. You may try to obtain prophecy with these middle defense systems, and it will not prosper. Pursuant to prophecy, prophecy will always come to play. Right? So, a fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? May any man drive away an hungry lion in the wood? Or may anyone quench the fire and stubble when they have begun to burn? No, it's all rhetorical, but the answer is no. right? The mighty Saki may one turn against the arrow that is shot of a stronger archer? No, all right, because to be frank, these freaking arrows aren't little arrows; they're freaking missiles. You can't stop a freaking missile, man. Yeah, that shit will carry you with it. You know, and that's that. If your hand won't rip apart, you know, on impact. That's why you don't put your hand, what's it called, a fan or whatever. Well, yeah, same analogy. You put your freaking hand on it's like a bullet. You know, it's gonna pierce through you unless it takes it with you. You can't stop an arrow. That's physically impossible. Especially you can't even fly, man. You know, those things are in the air. You know. And if you do try and jump, it will detonate before you even try and touch it because there's something known as air burst. Certain missiles detonate upon reaching a certain level. You know, they don't directly detonate on impact. There's air burst. So the closer they are to the ground, the more it will detonate in the air. All right. The mighty Lord sent the plagues, and who is he that may drive them away? A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? The Lord shall beat down, the Lord shall threaten, and we shall not be utterly beaten down to powder at his presence. Earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof. The sea ariseth up with the waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fish thereof also before the Lord. And like you see in the movie Don't Look Up, you know, when that missile hits, you have that freaking big old tidal wave. People be always talking about tidal waves. You know, they correlate a tsunami, which is a small, long wave, as a tidal wave. But if you want to talk, it will come to pass by way of this, because the earth will quake so freaking bad, it's gonna be so devastating, so destructive. You're gonna feel the force of it shaking in the heavens. The birds are gonna feel it. That's why it's written in Isaiah 24th chapter. I guess I'm not gonna name it off for you yet. You know, that's a spirit right there. You know, Isaiah 24th chapter, earthquake is, you know, they do its gonna throw like a drunkard. You know, Isaiah the 24th chapter. Hey, verse 1. Behold, the Lord Yahweh maketh the earth empty, and maketh it. People always talk about the Bible is about hugs and kisses. It's like a fairy tale. Oh, when I read the Bible, it's a fairy tale. Well, you know, this book is terrible, man. You read this. Oh, and you're bringing out terrible preachers, man. That's the type of the scriptures we're bringing out. The type of scriptures you never hear in your life until until you actually pass by the camp. Pass by the camp. Because these precepts are not about peace and love, right? Peace and love will happen after the destruction. It'll happen in the kingdom. But right now we're talking about destruction. You know? And the Lord made that mention, the emphasis on destruction part. That's where you have those two, I'm saying one or two prophets in Jeremiah. They got killed for prophesying of peace. You know? Anything else upsetting a prophecy too. That because you have that one guy, he wanted to state that Babylon or the Babylonian exile will be shorter than it was ordained. But no, prophecy had to come into play, and it would have to be like about 70 years until they were able to come back. By way of what's it called, Cyrus the Great. You know, the what's it called, the Middle Persian Empire. You know, which going back to Isaiah, I believe it was the 57th chapter or so, it made the mention how, you know, that was the Lord's anointing. And that ties back to the Flavius Josephus, an Israelite historian. He made that one book, I believe it was book 10 of the Antiquities of the Jews. It went into that, on the historical account of Cyrus. And you know, this guy was an Israelite. He wasn't an Israelite. He was a heathen. He was not an Israelite, but he was the Lord's anointed. He was the Lord's chosen. You know, same thing with Nebuchadnezzar. That was the Lord's chosen. What's it called? And that's why prophesying of peace during that time, it was really against the Lord. It was rebelling against His commandment. And what do the scriptures say? To obey is better than sacrifice, and rebellion is the sin of witchcraft. That's in the book of 1 Samuel, the 15th chapter, or the 17th chapter. And back in the Ten Commandments makes mention, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. You know, if rebellion is the sin of witchcraft, you are a witch for rebelling against the word of the Lord, and the Lord will kill you for that. Point blank, period. That's literally what's written. You know, so we're supposed to, you know, keep up with prophecy. We're supposed to, the Lord's will is our will, basically. But time back to Isaiah 24th chapter, verse 1. Behold, the Lord maketh the earth empty and maketh it waste, and turneth it upside down, and scattereth the body inhabitants thereof. Now I'm going to jump down to, you can read the whole chapter and speak upon its own, but I want to pull up the ladder. Yeah, verse 20. It reads the mention, or actually verse 19. All right, the earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly. And that's a little destruction. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard. You got a drunkard. You know what happens when you're drunk is that alcohol goes in your bloodstream and reaches your brain, and therefore those neural connections they're delayed. So we try and walk up, try and stand up, but when you're drunk, you can't. It's like a delay. You start balancing on each side. You start what's it called leaning. You just like that's an analogy of the earth being to and fro because it's going to be quaking so bad you're gonna feel it right in the air. You know. So and it shall be removed from like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. Right? How the scriptures speak, right? So going back to second Ezra's, uh, the 15th chapter, or it's like the 16th chapter. Shabbat with me. It reads, verse 13, for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. Salaki. Yeah, that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth and are sharp and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. You get a compound bow, a recurve bow, or whatever. You shoot an arrow. That thing, gravity. There's something called gravity. You don't know. Gravity's gonna push down the arrow eventually, right? But it's not talking about a little arrow. Why does it say that arrow should be shot into the ends of the world? So it refers to missiles, man. The prophets had to do with ancient terminology. All right, the Lord is going to reveal to them there's going to be a weapon called the missile, and that's what they're going to name it after, a missile. No, they used ancient terminology, the words that they had available, which was arrow, because it's like a bow and arrow, right? Behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. So until it'll only finish up until it actually comes to play. With that being said, this is edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, who with His world so ignorantly caused God, and Jesus Christ, whose true names are in the Paleo Hebrew, right? Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai, Ba'asham, Ha-Rachakwadash. All right, double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone, who rule well. Taught us 100% in truth, right? Much peace and blessings be unto you, hopeful. You let the dish not this word of thought, truth and sincerity. And to all you welcome, I do say shalom. Abadabal, DTA soon, little wow. And DTA means that to America.